So it looked like Bria Hartley is going into hiding. And it looked like Bria Hartley is running after news broke about Sophie Cunningham being out for the season.
Okay, this is wild. It felt like the entire season just disappeared in one terrible moment. Sophie Cunningham was clutching her knee in agony, while Bria Hartley just walked off, smirking. Yeah, you heard that right. Indiana later confirmed the worst: an MCL tear, and Sophie's out for the season. While Sophie's family was practically begging the league to protect its players, Hartley seemed to revel in the chaos instead of showing an ounce of concern. That reaction alone made everyone's jaw drop, but what happened next made things even worse. Those clips of Hartley's smirk went absolutely viral, and then she did something else that totally points to her guilt. We're gonna break down exactly what that was in just a bit.
Picture is going viral with Bria Hartley with the sinister grin, right? This malevolent look that's on her face right now, clearly smiling after injuring Sophie Cunningham, man.
And get this, the moment that everyone kept replaying wasn't even Sophie on the ground. It was what the cameras caught right after. As the trainers rushed to Sophie's side, a replay angle clearly showed Hartley looking back with, well, many are calling it a straight-up grin. That single, frozen frame exploded across social media, becoming the absolute centerpiece of all the outrage. Fans weren't even debating the collision itself anymore. They were dissecting that expression, replaying it, pausing it, and insisting it revealed everything you needed to know about Hartley's intent.
Play that just occurred.
That's like she tries to slide over right there, and Hartley just kind of falls and makes collision with that lower leg. You see her immediately grab it. And she went down hard and was clearly in a lot of pain.
Let me break this down for you. The play itself looked absolutely chaotic. Before that, both teams were trading baskets, keeping the pace super tight. Then, Hartley just barreled in at this really awkward angle, crashing right into Sophie's planted leg. Sophie instantly collapsed, clutching her knee, and you could practically hear the arena hold its breath. But online, the conversation was telling a totally different story, completely fueled by those clipped highlights of Hartley's infamous reaction.
Oh, and Cunningham is down. My goodness. Should be. You know, scary moment as we went to commercial. Sophie Cunningham hit the floor hard, and she is being helped off the floor, heading back to the locker room.
But here's where it gets even crazier, because the context around Hartley pushed this whole conversation into overdrive. She already had a pretty notorious reputation that gave fans every reason to question her judgment. In recent seasons, she'd been ejected from games for physical run-ins, and if you remember, she was most infamously involved in that heated incident with Angel Reese that even included a hair pull.
Atkins, 7 to shoot. Cardoso rolls, catch. Cardoso over the top, can't get it. Reese fights for the rebound, and a foul, and this time gets a little chippy, and a shove on Nelson Adona. And listen, this arena, typically we'll see.
So, when that smirk appeared on camera just seconds after Sophie's injury, all those past altercations immediately became part of the debate. People genuinely felt like they were seeing a pattern here, even though there was absolutely no official ruling on intent from the league.
So Mike put this up about an hour ago. He said to all of those defending Bria Hartley, look at what she liked on Instagram. Emo, she's the dirtiest player in the league and should be kicked out. Most recently, Sophie Cunningham has been hurt with the knee tear and is out for the season. Look at this. Look at this. Now, Bria is the definition of consistency. Now, this is her liking this. This is her liking this post. Y'all see that? Breezy, 1414, and others. Bria is the definition. She's liking this post. Look at this. Death taxes and Bria Hartley always being at the scene of the crime. Now, that's her choke slamming Angel Reese.
Still, the injury changed everything. This wasn't just some scare Sophie could walk off. Tests confirmed she suffered an MCL tear, meaning she would miss the entire rest of the season. What might have originally been seen as just unfortunate basketball contact suddenly blew up into the flashpoint for a massive conversation about player safety and accountability in the league.
Sophie Cunningham, let's be clear here. Sophie Cunningham was targeted. Let's be very, very clear here. But Sophie Cunningham was flat out targeted by a dirty.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Before any official league response even landed, it wasn't analysts or even the referees who were driving the outrage. No, it was Sophie's own family members who felt like they had no choice but to speak up. Their reaction immediately raised an even harder question. Why did the responsibility to demand protection fall on them instead of the referees who were holding the whistle in the first place? What made this moment stand out even more was how quickly Sophie's family stepped forward when most people expected officials or the league to take the lead. The most visible reaction came from her sister, Lindsay, whose post on X just exploded. She wrote, and I quote, "Maybe you should focus less on fining players for commenting on your poor officiating and more about hiring officials that are able to call a consistent game and protect your athletes." Pathetic. That direct criticism resonated like crazy, because it wasn't just raw family emotion, it echoed frustrations players and fans had already been voicing all season.
Maybe you should focus, her sister. Maybe you should focus less on fining players for commenting on your poor officiating and more about hiring officials that are capable to call a consistent game and protect your athletes. Pathetic. Praying for you. The only good thing positive surrounding Sophie Cunningham coming out of this game, she looked in good spirits in the locker room.
And the sting behind Lindsay's words, it was super amplified by the fact that Sophie herself had already been fined earlier that year for criticizing officiating on her podcast and social media. That history made Lindsay's phrasing land even harder, as she expertly pointed out what many saw as totally upside-down priorities. Think about it. Players are punished with real fines for speaking out, while questionable contact on the court doesn't bring any immediate accountability. In that light, her post wasn't just about her sister's injury anymore. It pointed directly to a recurring disconnect between the league's stated values and how games were actually being overseen.
Bria Hartley deserves zero benefit of the doubt. And Sophie Cunningham's family not too happy. I believe this is Mama C. Hartley is a disgruntled player having trouble everywhere she goes. She's playing mean and plays out of control.
On top of that, Sophie's mother, Paula Cunningham, really added fuel to the fire with a blunt message of her own, calling Hartley disgruntled and plain mean. Now, she did delete the post later, but the fact that it came from someone so personally invested in Sophie's well-being gave that criticism a weight social media comments alone just couldn't match. Fans immediately took it as confirmation that what they were reading into Hartley's reaction wasn't just their imagination, it was deeply felt by the family closest to the player who got hurt. And here's the crazy part. Once that message was deleted, it only spread even more rapidly, with screenshots fueling further debate about intent, accountability, and whether this kind of raw frustration coming straight from a player's family might actually push the league to act faster.
Indiana Fever fans wake up pissed off today. Pissed off. Not only are we getting assaulted, but they're smiling about it. This is the 6th time they've smiled, laughed, and cheered on our Indiana Fever players getting assaulted, getting injured. And it pissed.
And if that wasn't enough, the refereeing itself also remained a huge focal point. Critics weren't just questioning the collision. They were also calling out the delayed response in stopping play once it was crystal clear Sophie was down. That night became another damning data point in a long-running conversation about officiating standards, especially with all the complaints from other players and coaches earlier in the season about game-to-game inconsistency. The Cunningham family's comments basically captured what many around the league had already been saying publicly. The lack of reliable standards was leaving players totally vulnerable to unnecessary risks.
Making all kind of excuses to say that Bria Hartley is not a dirty player. Let me tell y'all something, man. Come on in here. Come on in here, man. Let me tell y'all something. If it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, eats like a duck, it's a duck, man. Come on, man. She is the dirtiest player in the WNBA right now, winning the trophy. All right? Winning the trophy for it. Don't sit here and try to tell me Bria Hartley is not a dirty player.
As this discussion just exploded, Attention naturally shifted straight to the people at the very top of the league structure. Fans and family members alike started calling on Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and the league office to establish much clearer protection protocols and stronger accountability when referees miss critical moments. Media outlets jumped on the story fast, framing it as part of a larger, crucial debate about both safety and leadership in the WNBA. But while Sophie's family was voicing their anger and the league faced mounting questions, Indiana, as a team, still had to finish that incredibly tough night on the court. And what happened next was a powerful reminder of how an entire season can flip in a single evening, not just because of what was lost, but because of the unexpected resilience that followed.
So proud of you. We're proud of you too. Proud of you. I'm so proud of you guys. I know that sometimes it sounds like just a word when we talk about being resilient, but it's not, man. It's how we live. Yeah. It's how y'all live, and it's a tribute to you. It's a tribute to your connectedness, your togetherness, your toughness, your mindset. You never give up gritty attitudes. Like, that's what it takes. That's what it takes. And
plot twist. Indiana's night didn't just continue, it completely transformed. With Sophie already ruled out and Caitlin Clark unavailable, the Fever looked totally overmatched on paper. Yet, by the time that final buzzer sounded, they had fought all the way back to absolutely shock the league. What began as a bench stretched thin ended in a record-breaking comeback that no one in that arena will ever forget.
we will never be counted out, because that is worth gold. That is worth gold. Kels, goddamn baby. Put us on your back. Oh, big time.
Now at halftime, that outcome felt absolutely impossible. Indiana was trailing by a whopping 21 points, their offense sputtering, and their defense just couldn't keep up with the quick rotations from the other side. Broadcasters were literally framing the night around survival, not victory, and fans were bracing themselves for a complete blowout. But inside that huddle, something shifted. The team closed ranks, adjusted rotations, and leaned on pure grit rather than panic. Kelsey Mitchell became the centerpiece of that insane turnaround. She absolutely exploded after the break, finishing with a staggering 38 points, 34 of them in the second half alone, along with 6 assists. Every single shot she knocked down chipped away at that deficit, giving the Fever a crucial chance to breathe. Her performance carried massive weight, not just statistically, but emotionally. Without Sophie and Caitlin, Mitchell became the unlikely leader willing to drag her team back into contention.
Assassin Kelsey Mitchell has a new career high. Backdoor Mitchell bouncing in the paint for 2. Kelsey Mitchell, the big is matched up. Mitchell squeezing through for 2 at the foul. Fouls on the other end. It's Mitchell launching it, connecting.
But that incredible lift didn't rest on her shoulders alone. Odyssey Sims provided this steady, veteran control of the floor, cutting down turnovers, slowing the pace when they needed it, and making sure every possession ended with a good look. She was the one who calmly settled the team in those moments when frustration could have easily just consumed them.
Mabry knifes off the screen. Charles is doubled.
And Indiana looks like they're in a zone right now.
Kick out and stolen by Mitchell. Explodes 2-on-1. Sims elevates for 2 and a foul.
Bug with their point guards. This is where you have Odyssey Sims coming in. Kelsey Mitchell making a great heads-up play here, but Odyssey Sims has done a great job early on coming in, figuring.
Right alongside her, Aaliyah Boston completely dominated the paint, posting a double-double that gave Indiana the crucial balance they desperately needed. Her relentless rebounding and incredible interior defense stopped second-chance opportunities cold and bought essential space for Mitchell's scoring runs to truly make a difference.
Boston backs down Hartley. Aaliyah Boston, excellent post position. Picks up the dribble. Shot clock winding down to 7. Mabry, lob pass. Charles catches. No foul call. That's a huge no call. Looks for cutters. Charles the defense. Back on to Boston. Tina Charles. Backdoor Mitchell pouncing in the paint for 2. 30 points for Mitchell. That's the 4th on Charles.
Can't get caught ball watching right there. Great recognition by Boston as Mitchell makes that backdoor cut.
As the second half played out, the crowd's energy just soared with each possession. Loose balls started bouncing Indiana's way. Defensive sets looked incredibly sharper, and suddenly, that scoreboard just kept inching closer. By the fourth quarter, the team that had looked completely dead in the water was running on pure adrenaline and precision. When the horn finally sounded on a 99-93 win, Indiana had not only erased a massive 21-point hole, but they had set the mark for the largest comeback in franchise history.
Shot clock down to 6 for the Fever. Turner, up fade. Turner kicks it. Hole three-pointer. Bottom!
Indiana's just...
Now that victory definitely framed one side of the story. But off the court, Hartley became the focal point for an entirely different reason. After that viral clip of her smirk circulated everywhere, she suddenly appeared to make her social media accounts private, and in some cases, they were just deleted altogether. That move instantly fueled massive speculation. Is she about to quit? Is something big about to happen to her? Rumors have been flying around about a pending investigation and even a suspension for her streak of what many are calling dirty plays.
Bria Hartley has privated all her social media accounts. Now, this is coming off news breaking about Sophie Cunningham being out for the season. Now, we know there has been people kind of investigating this whole situation with Bria Hartley. And y'all know what I like to say is looking real spooky for Bria Hartley right now.
Meanwhile, while Hartley was completely pulling back from the spotlight, Sophie was actually preparing to do the exact opposite. Injured or not, she was absolutely not about to let this moment pass without making her voice heard. Sophie's reaction in the days after the injury showed just how determined she was to control the narrative. She didn't retreat from the spotlight or leave others to speak on her behalf. Instead, she put her own voice right at the center of the conversation. That choice set her completely apart from most players in her position, because rather than staying quiet throughout her recovery, she spoke directly to the controversy and made it crystal clear she wanted her perspective represented.
Well, you come at Sophie's sister, you come at Sophie. And Sophie saw this comment, and bless her heart, she answered it. She answered it. Some of us were raised by the words of, quote, don't bite off more than you can chew. And some of us didn't. Quote, F around and find out. F around and find out. Kiss. God bless this woman.
Yeah, seriously, she's incredible. Her first public move was short, but it was commanding. She went online and posted F around and find out. It was blunt, but man, did it resonate. The message wasn't random, nor was it even aimed at Bria Hartley specifically. No, it was directed squarely at the critics, at those dismissing her toughness, and at people who questioned whether Indiana would even hold together without her on the court. Fans picked up on it immediately, circulating it across WNBA discussions until it became one of the most talked about posts of the week. More than anything, it came across as a defiant response, a way of telling people that despite her injury, neither she nor her team was going to be disrespected or just written off.
That's hilarious. That this hater out there, and there's a lot of them right now. I said yesterday they're mad because Sophie's being called a superstar and this and that and the other. Yeah, Sophie's got more pull than your A'ja Wilson. I mean, Asia's on this monumental run. I literally wouldn't have known that if I hadn't stumbled across somebody that said, well, the WNBA is making A'ja Wilson's late season MVP push. Sometimes, I mean, you just got to pay attention. The WNBA wants to protect certain people and certain players.
But Sophie also made it clear there was even more nuance to the situation. On her podcast, she completely surprised some fans by explicitly defending Hartley. She said straight out that she didn't think Bria meant to injure her, adding that the two were friends, super cool, and that she had nothing but love for her. For those who had only seen that viral clip of Hartley's smirk, Sophie's words definitely complicated the outrage. At the same time, her FAFO post was aimed less at her opponent and more at the conversation swirling around her family and her own toughness. In other words, she gave Hartley the benefit of the doubt, but she definitely didn't extend that same courtesy to the critics, or to a league that had fined her 3 separate times for speaking out about officiating earlier in the season.
Know Bria, and I'm actually really good friends with Bria, and I have been waiting to get on the pod and so we could talk about this because I did want to tweet it out, but I don't think that there was no ill intent. I think it was basketball play. I was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. She fell. Like, there's no way that she would go in there and potentially try to hurt me. And so I had nothing but love for Bria. And I even told my mom, because she tweeted something. I was like, no, Mom, I get it. But I promise you that I was like, Bria and I are super cool. And she would never try to hurt me. Because there are some girls that I think might, but she didn't do that. And so I have nothing but love. And so I hope people stop giving Bria some heat, because I don't think she meant to do that at all.
That history totally helped explain her tone. She, more than most players, knew exactly what it felt like to be punished for using her platform. When she called out officiating months earlier, the league fined her. But by combining a defiant public statement with a measured, thoughtful explanation on her podcast, she showed she wasn't just reacting emotionally. No, she was establishing her own powerful stance while fiercely defending her family's dignity. And fans absolutely rallied behind her. Fever supporters flooded social media with encouragement, highlighting her incredible willingness to speak up, even while injured. What might have been remembered only as a devastating night for Indiana turned into a powerful rallying cry because Sophie completely transformed her setback into genuine leadership. This brilliant balance, defiant on social media, thoughtful on her podcast, kept her voice central and skillfully shifted pressure back toward the league. And as her response spread, it framed the bigger takeaway from the entire incident. Indiana wasn't folding, and their fight was just beginning. So, to recap, Sophie confirmed the heartbreaking reality, an MCL tear that ends her season. Meanwhile, the video of Hartley's smirk spread everywhere, and not long after, Hartley's social accounts were reportedly made private. For Indiana, that night carried its own undeniable proof of resilience, with Kelsey Mitchell's incredible 38 points powering a 21-point comeback, the biggest in franchise history. Now it's your turn. Do you think the officials failed to protect players, or was this just bad luck? Is Hartley trying to clean up her mess now that she's potentially facing a suspension? Do you think this was a dirty play? Drop all your thoughts below in the comments, and don't forget to send some well wishes for Sophie while you're there. Subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.